watching Battlecast Primetime. Forget Boris, the Soviet's new commando is Natasha. I know who's playing her in the FMVs. Plus, David joins us live from Moscow at the Red Alert 3 unveiling event. And we've got some great Battlecast action for you in the main event. You won't want to miss our first fan-submitted grudge match. It'll be a game to remember. Battlecast Primetime starts now. You're logged in to Battlecast Primetime. I'm Raj Joshi. Wow, I finally got to read the show open. All I had to do was fly David to Moscow. Wonder where I can send him next. Maybe the Arctic. Earlier this month, David was in Russia for the unveiling of Red Alert 3 to the media. Although the event took place May 2nd, thanks to Albert Einstein's time machine, David is able to join us live via satellite from Moscow 25 days ago. David, you cheating swine, welcome to Battlecast Primetime. It's time for David to bring you the latest Moscow news from the cold front. From the front splash. Not supposed to read that.
I'm 18 stories underground in an actual World War II bunker, where Red Alert 3 is about to be demoed to the press for the very first time. Over the course of this week, our guests will get to see the new look and feel of Red Alert 3 in an exclusive multiplayer demo, along with details on the story and, of course, more caviar and vodka than you can possibly imagine. Let's check it out.
Guys, let's go.
Добрый день, everyone. Welcome to Moscow. So I don't know about you, but it feels a little bit surreal to be down here, 18 stories underground.
I mean, things like the water effect struck me as particularly like, that's something, that's something I'd expect in Gears of War, not, an RTS.
I wish we could fly every CNC fan out here to party in Moscow with us, but instead, you'll just have to check out the press coverage in your favorite gaming publication next month. For Battlecast Primetime, I'm David Silverman. Raj, back to you.
Now, let's bring you the best fan matches from around the web. We've got some special matches lined up, including the finalists from the GameReplays.org Kane's Wrath Tournament in the Battlecast 5. It's R2-D2 Steel Talons versus Caesar GDI on Tournament Rift. R2 garrisons the lower tip spikes and calls for reinforcements in an early show of force. Force. Caesar outsmarts those garrisons by using APCs and the tip spikes themselves to shield his engineers from rifle fire as he grabs the early econ advantage. But R2's going with an airfield rush, and just as his pit bulls take out some harvesters, they're joined by rocket troops in hammerheads. With just one harvester left, Caesar's pit bulls and APCs hold off against the rush, and now it's his turn to go aggressive. Caesar splits his pit bulls, targeting power plants and harvesters on two fronts. R2 loses his airfield, armory, and op center, while Caesar base creeps across the map. R2 creeps south and rebuilds at his southern field. He's also recaptured the lower spikes, and this time he uses dig-in to cover the spikes from all angles. In an incredibly bold move, R2 charges the second MCV into Caesar's southern base, dropping a war factory and barracks only to lose everything to Caesar's engineers. Yes, that's right. Caesar can now build Titans, Wolverines, and any other Steel Talons exclusive. Whoops! Fast forward and both players have Marvs tearing through the other's expansive, undefended bases. R2 smells defeat, so he sends 2 MCVs to the corners of the map, dropping a power plant along the edge just to keep himself alive. 2 can play at that game. Caesar sends a surveyor to another corner. The Marvs continue to destroy everything in sight as Command and Conquer turns to hide and seek. In the final stand, R2 loses his Marv and 1 MCV. Will he be able to rebuild in time? No! The second MCV is down and R2's left with just a power plant. Tick-tock, tick-tock. R2 waits patiently for his untimely destruction at the hands of Caesar. I've lost R2! 4.
World Cyber Games champ Apollo Traveler versus Heckenheim GDI on Tournament Dust Bowl. Apollo grabs his expansion field and Explorer while Heckenheimer's Surveyor charges straight down the middle and deploys. There's no Tiberium here, but all those garrisons make this spot surprisingly strategic. Apollo sends some Seekers for some lightweight Harvester harassment, but Heckenheim's a heavy hitter. His war factories and barracks build a quick force of Predators, Pitbulls, and Shatterers, and they're not just settling for Harvesters, ladies and gentlemen. They have Apollo's entire expansion in their sights. Heckenheim draws a line in the sand, reverse moving his Predators and bringing in a ring. Adios, expansion! As the last of Apollo's expansion is ablaze, Heckenheim finally claims his own expansion field. Apollo, not ready to let this one go to the L column, shifts his focus to air harassment, targeting Harvesters with Storm Rider. But Heckenheim sees them heading out and drops 2 anti-air base defenses at each Tiberium field. Apollo knows he's cornered, so he resorts to the oh-so-pro Mecha Spam. Well, a win's a win, I guess. They go on the offensive at first, but the Sonic Emitters make short work of those Mecha-Peas. Back at Apollo's base, Heckenheim's Pitbulls focus on the Mecha-Peas' head, and down they go! The sign of a true pro, Apollo refuses to throw in the towel. He sneaks his drone ship out to rebuild, but Heckenheim's just too strong. Clean up, aisle 6. Heckenheim gets the win.
3. Commander T Black Cannon, Kiswa Bang Bang Nod versus Fanny GDI and Nihilist Traveler 59 on unsound investment. Nihilist gets a nerve center out fast and harasses with the Infestation and Lightning Spike support powers, while Commander T targets Nihilist's Harvesters with attack bikes. The Nod players go on the offense first, and despite their early advances being shot down, Commander T's Scorpions break through. Nihilist's base is about to be wiped out, but Commander T has no anti-air, so Nihilist is able to fly the drone platform to safety. Nihilist retreats over the ridge to rebuild at Fanny's base, while Fanny welcomes Commander T's Scorpion tanks with open arms and Railgun Predator tanks. Fanny expands north to the blue field where his Harvesters are greeted by Kiswa's army. But a well-timed temporal wormhole and orbital bombardment saves the day. Fanny takes the war to Kiswa and almost wipes him out, but Kiswa built his Redeemer engineering facility inside T's base. That base has seen better days, but the Nod players are still alive. Instead of turtling and rebuilding, they immediately go on the offensive, forcing Nihilist's drone ship to hop the ridge in fear once more. They're met again by the orbital bombardment temporal wormhole combo, and this time Nihilist has made some gunwalkers invulnerable with a phase field to crush T's infantry. The stalemate continues as Mecha Thieves foil the Spectre rush to the south, and the Rage Generator thins out defenses up north. The Nod players restage and put everything they've got into one last flank. For Kane! They could go all the way! Commander T and Kiswa Bang Bang get an exciting victory!
2.
Relativity, Marked of Cain versus I Am Khufu, Blackhand on Tournament Rift. In the exciting conclusion of the GameReplays.org Kane's Wrath tournament, Relativity builds a shrine and sends a shadow team to the lower spikes, followed by 3 engineers. Khufu can't touch the southern spikes, but his Confessor Cabal grab the garrison at Relativity's base. Do these bases look similar or what? Both players build a Hand of Nod, Refinery, War Factory, Refinery, 2 additional Harvesters, and an Operations Center. There must be some sort of GameReplays.org CNC playbook or something. The only difference so far is that Relativity went with a secret shrine, while Khufu placed another Refinery. That bonus income helps Khufu go on the offensive first, and he launches a team of Scorpions. Relativity's caught a little off guard, but he's almost finished the Supercharged Particle Beam upgrade, and here comes the Shredder base defenses. With the upgrade, they're almost as powerful as laser turrets, and now they build much faster too.
Relativity's economy is starting to look a little like America's, but he's not done yet. Both players have a second MCV trotting around the map, deploying long enough to drop a few refineries before packing up and moving on to the next field. Talk about the proverbial eat and run. Look at how sparse these bases are. Relativity can't seem to muster the offensive edge as we go to the final push. Khufu's managed to amass a small army of purifiers, while Relativity's got Spectres, Stealth Tanks, and Shredder turrets for his last stand. He's force-firing his Spectres to try to nail the purifiers, a smart move since Spectres don't track their targets, but do have incredible range, splash damage, and stealth. Plus 5 command skill points, Relativity. Relativity's magnetic mines missed their mark, however, and his Venoms arrived just too late. Khufu gets the win and a $450 prize pack from EA, GameReplays.org, and SteelSeries. I am Khufu, and I am the champion. Congrats.
1. Phil Blackhand and Ebolga GDI versus Roberta Spinibus Blackhand and Sebastian Reaper on Oasis Onslaught. Out of the gate, Phil goes for the central tip spikes and does a great job of keeping them under his control. Unfortunately, Phil should have been watching out for his partner who just got neared in the biggest way possible as a lone, undefended assimilator takes his Conyard. Ebolga drops a War Factory in Phil's base before giving up, and Phil has no choice but to sell off the remaining GDI structures before Sebastian takes those two. With his newly acquired Conyard from Ebolga, Sebastian has now unlocked all of the GDI units and structures. Phil now pays the price of poor wingmanship and faces 2 players with access to Blackhand, Reaper, and GDI units. Hopefully, Phil's got a prescription for happiness because this does not look good! Phil starts by flanking his opponents with Flame Tank, easily leveling an expansion. He techs up both Blackhand and GDI, dropping a Temple of Nod and a Reclamator hub to build his Marv. Phil's garrison clearing Blackhand holds the center of the map while the Redeemer emerges. He's using the Marv as a giant self-healing harvester while the Redeemer goes on the offensive. Finibus's purifiers cripple Pill's base and knock out his Nod build queues. But Pill's far from defeated. His engineers retake those purifiers and the Redeemer flanks Finibus. Hey, it looks like his Marv's joining the party too, along with a few Juggernauts. Finibus is out cold, but he was able to drop a War Factory in his allies' base as a parting gift. Thanks, Pat Sajak. New life and a second chance emerge for Finibus as an MCV rolls out, keeping him still in the game. Phil sends in 4 purifiers to take out the Eradicator epic unit. But even with the Shockwave artillery and orbital bombardment, the Eradicator escapes. Barely. Zone troopers and Juggernauts cross the top and bottom of the map to meet a half-dozen Mecha Peaks and 2 epic units. But these balanced attack groups win the battle. Super Weapon will activate first. Plus, in a feat of sheer micro-excellence, Phil uses a single commando and a hammerhead to take out 2 enemy super weapons, an op center, and a technology assembler in about 5 seconds. Micro-licious! Phil amasses his army while he waits for the ion cannon, then hits them with everything he's got. Finibus and Sebastian can't believe their eyes as Phil comes back against all odds. In any event, Phil's the one they call Dr. Pwn U, and there's your 5 for this month.
The 5, brought to you by Elite XC. Watch Gina Carano in the premiere of CBS Elite XC Saturday Night Fights, May 31st, 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific.
Congrats on a solid win in the GameReplays.org tournament. When we return, where is Moose and Squirrel? Boris is out, but Natasha is in, and she's played by one feisty vixen. I don't think you can handle this bombshell. But we're bringing you the exclusive interview anyway with one of the stars in Red Alert 3. Plus, Apoc's got your community news in his corner, and Amir answers your questions in Ask a Developer. All of this and more when Battlecast Primetime continues on Command & Conquer TV. Welcome back to Battlecast Primetime. I'm Raj Joshi. Being the sleuth that I am, I made a call to security during the break, and they sent over this surveillance tape from the historic matchup last month between David and myself. Oh, I'm excited to watch this. Let's roll it. Vasilla! Einstein, get David back here up on the temporal satellite.
You rang?
2 words, David. Jim Vasella.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, come off it, David S. The camera doesn't lie. That's right. I called security, and we've got the proof right here.
Note to self. Bribe security guard and destroy that tape before Raj's shoot. Check. Say, Raj, where's this tape again?
That's right. Hey, where did it go? This is so unfair. Fine. You want a rematch? You and I in the Battlecast lobby, 5 p.m. next Thursday. Greg Black and Jason Bender are logged on to commentate, and everyone in the world can watch it live through our website. Plus, APOC's refereeing and Jim Vasella is bound and gagged in the broom closet for the entire match. Scratch that, the entire week!
Fine. Tell Jim I'll shove some food under the closet door so he doesn't go hungry. And Raj, you will bow before my superior skills.
Ha! I'll get APOC to post a news story at commandandconquer.com next week with all the details on how you can watch David go down in flames live through our Battlecast system. Speaking of APOC, it's time to bring you all the news by the fans, for the fans, in APOC's Community Corner.
What's up, all you commanders and comrades? It's time once again for a little APOC's Corner, primetime style. But if you can't get enough of me, come on, who can? Then head over to the blogging section at commandandconquer.com. It's got your daily dose of CNC community news from around the globe in my brand new APOC's Corner blog. Original title, huh? Just check it out daily and I promise you won't be disappointed. The first glorious patch for Kane's Wrath is almost here to sync up your game to the latest version. This patch will finally be coming to you later this month with a host of desync, balance, technical, and exploit changes. And following the release of our first Kane's Wrath patch will be my highly anticipated Ladder Season 2. You've waited long for it, and it's finally here. We're gonna have bigger prizes, bigger sponsors, 27 new eligible countries. You can find out a whole lot more information about this upcoming ladder tournament in our ladder tournament section at commandandconquer.com. Check it out. The new and improved RedAlert3.com has finally landed, and it's got a ton of great new content. Be sure to read our executive producer Chris Corey's very own Premiere blog, where he discloses all of his darkest mad science and development secrets. We've also got a brand new faction section where you'll learn all about the new units of Red Alert 3 every week throughout the summer. Now, before I kick it back to the guys, I wanted to take a moment to spotlight some of the CNC mods which have recently caught my attention. Rest assured, they're good. The team behind Tiberian Dawn just celebrated their first year of development. Congratulations, guys. This team is going to bring the timeless classic straight to the CNC3 Sage engine. Head on over to their site for a look at some of their new units, structures, and coolest of all, their first full motion HD video of the Ion Cannon. Keep your eyes posted at TiberianDawn.com for more updates. Aiming to fill in the non-existent CNC cannon gap from 1955 to 1995, Renovatio will feature 2 main factions with redesigned classic CNC units, an epic storyline to connect the dots between Red Alert and Tiberian Dawn, and the next Billboard hip-hop chart topper, the CNC Renovatio rap song. You can see more of Renovatio, including their recent 3rd blog posting, on their profile page at moddb.com. And finally, I have to spotlight Renegade X. These guys are on freaking fire with their upcoming mod, which aims to recreate the storied CNC Renegade on the Unreal 3 engine. They recently put together a pretty thrilling trailer. You can watch Nod's stealth tanks and GDI Humvees battle it out, witness the Tiberian meteor crashing into the Tiber River once again, and see the CNC Renegade you all love with a spectacular graphic overhaul. So that's it for my corner this month, but before I throw it back to Raj, let me tell you about this noob called Commander T. A lot of you caught wind of his official challenge to me. Well, I've got news for you, Commander T. I've got my big iron fist here to take you down, and I'm about to hit the big red ban button. So what do you think about that? I'll see you in the main event. And remember, kids, every day is Community Day.
Thank you, APOC, for all the news. And thanks for backing me up. Now let's find out what Amir thinks about David's indiscretions. Oh, and he'll also answer your questions in Ask a Developer.
Thanks, Raj. I'm Amir Rao, designer on Red Alert 3, and I'm here to answer your questions with Ask a Developer. Our first question here comes from Purple Scrin, who asks, can engineers swim and be able to capture structures that are placed on water? Well, Purple Scrin, engineers will be able to capture structures placed on water. In fact, each engineer has a unique amphibious transport that they automatically take out when given a move order onto water. The Allied engineer, for example, has a ski-doo, which he uses to brave the rough seas on his way to a structure on the water. All right then. Our next question comes from Tham007, who asks, will micromanagement be different in RA3 than it is in CNC3? Well, Tham007, micromanagement in Red Alert 3 will be significantly different than in CNC3, and this is primarily due to the fact that every unit, from your mighty apocalypse tanks to your resource gatherers, has a secondary ability. Using these abilities at the right time and in the right situation is going to be key to your success in battles of all scales. Next up, we have X Forever, who asks, will there be support powers? Well, X Forever, player support powers will be making a return in Red Alert 3, but the system for using and unlocking them is very different than Command & Conquer 3, and it's not something we can talk about today. But I can reveal two powers to you. The first is the Allied Time Bomb. Now you can put this thing next to some enemy units or in an enemy base, and it'll count down on a timer, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At the end of that timer, it'll explode, laying waste to everything around it, but it gives your opponent time to react and to turn the tables on you. The other power is a Soviet global upgrade called Crush Puppies. And what this thing does is allow Soviet vehicles to heal every time they crush. So if you can imagine some Apocalypse tanks rolling over some Guardian tanks, getting health back every time they crush, you can see some pretty nasty possibilities. Kirdex has our next question. He asks, the super weapons, are we going to see some new ones? Kirdex, we are bringing back super weapons. In fact, each faction has 2 super weapons. Some old favorites will return, and we've got some dastardly new ones that'll have you scrambling every time EVA announces that they've been built on the battlefield. Our final question comes from Jagerbane, who asks, what's with your hats? Have you got no Allied or Imperial ones to wear? Well, Jagerbane, today I have no hats. It was either a new hat or a Kane's Wrath patch, and I really wanted that new hat, but the team decided to go with the Kane's Wrath patch. I figured you wouldn't be too bent up about it. I'm sorry, though. You can post your questions about Command & Conquer Red Alert 3, any burning things you'd like to ask the dev team on the Command & Conquer TV forums. That's all for now. I'm Amir Rao with Ask a Developer. Back to you, Raj.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the unveiling of Natasha. David was on set of the Red Alert 3 cinematic shoot last month, and his NDA has finally expired. Let's take a look behind the scenes of the RA3 cinematics with the new Russian commando, Natasha.
Thanks, Raj. As you can see, I'm behind the scenes of the Red Alert 3 cinematic shoot, and I'm joined by Elite XC and mixed martial arts fighter Gina Carano. Gina, welcome to Battlecast Primetime.
Thank you.
So, Gina, you're a mixed martial arts fighter. You're an American gladiator. Love the show, by the way.
Thank you.
And you're now Natasha in Command & Conquer Red Alert 3. What could be better than that?
Not much, man. I mean, I'm just kind of combining everything all into one with Natasha, I think, you know.
So what kind of things have you done today?
A lot of pictures, a lot of posing, a lot of speaking, just, you know, taking some cuts and learning Natasha's role, really.
Has pummeling anyone with a fugil stick kind of prepared you for this role at all?
It has, in the way of entertainment and getting my hair done and makeup and outfits, and it's a good thing that I got prepped in spandex before I came here and got prepped in leather, you know, so it's cool.
Nice. Now, you have a big fight coming up the end of this month, right?
Yeah, big fight, huge fight.
And that's, you're fighting...
I'm fighting Caitlin Young on CBS May 31st, and it's the first network televised MMA fight, I guess, so we're going to be making a little bit of history, which is huge for women in the sport, so, you know, there could be a little bit of pressure on the fight, but it's just gonna rock, it's gonna be awesome.
So what's kind of like your typical training montage? I mean, I've seen like Rocky doing his stuff, you know, cutting wood and things, you know, what kind of things do you do to get ready for a big fight?
I just got three areas that I like to focus on: mental, spiritual, physical. And as long as each one of those is somewhat balanced and in control, then I know I can do good in the fight. So it's a little bit hectic though, because I'm filming for American Gladiators, you know, at the same time, so I'm kind of double teaming it, and it's probably not the smartest thing to do, but I'm just gonna, I think if anybody can do it, I can do it. So I'm in LA, all the LA gyms kind of open up their hearts to me and like let me walk in and have trained with, you know, different people here and there. So I'm a little bit scattered right now, but I'm gonna go home whenever I get the chance and train my ass off and just do my thing, you know?
Sweet. Well, we're rooting for you.
Yeah, you better be.
Oh, don't worry. So now I have to ask, you're an expert at fighting. So in a cage match between me and Raj Joshi, who do you think would win?
Oh, didn't you tell me earlier I had to go with you?
I never said that. I never said that. No, seriously.
You, man, you, of course, all the way, right here.
There you go. See? Heard it there, Raj. So, Gina
Sorry,
Carano,
Raj.
thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Back to you, Raj.
When we return, you pick the players for this month's main event. Find out who when Battlecast Primetime continues on Command & Conquer TV.
My name is Gina Carano, and I play Natasha in Command & Conquer Red Alert 3.
Gina Carano. She is undefeated in her campaign with a record of 4 wins, no losses. Okay, back your shoulders to your left.
Don't be afraid of women with muscles, boys. We are not afraid of yours. Those boys need to learn how to fight more like girls.
Everyone should have one. Let's hear it for the women's face of MMA, Gina Carano!
Tonight, on the main event, the message boards were ablaze last month with people issuing challenges, and we've got the best one of all to show to you tonight. Who issued the challenge and why are the players suited for a grudge match? Find out what's boiling beneath the surface and who will come out victorious. This is the main event.
Welcome to the main event. Last month you saw an epic grudge match between David and I, but evidence has recently been uncovered and then mysteriously destroyed that David is a cheating lowlife. Be sure to watch our rematch, and this time it will actually be David playing, not Vasella, next Thursday. It will be official and refereed so nobody, David, can cheat. But enough on that. We combed through all the posts and suggestions of matchups on the message boards and found the best grudge we could. We did some digging to get the dirt on the challengers and find out why they want to destroy each other. So let's get this party started and meet our opponents in Through the Eyes, starting with the official challenge.
Aaron APOC Kaufman is from the San Francisco Bay Area. Born in South San Francisco and raised in nearby Foster City, APOC's been a CNC fan since day one. He went to San Mateo High School before studying filmmaking at UC San Diego, hoping to someday be a visual effects producer. It was at UCSD that he met one David S. Silverman, a chance meeting that would have forever changed the rest of his life. Aaron's been playing sports his entire life, and as he says, quote, "You name it, I've played it." But soccer has always been his passion. He landed his job at EALA after working for a video game market research firm in San Diego, coupled with a stellar recommendation from yours truly, which pretty much sealed the deal. His favorite CNC game of all time is Red Alert 1, and he has no favorite Kane's Wrath faction. Quote, "I'm not good at any of them, so why bother only playing as just one?" His favorite strategy, though, is one he calls the APOC Special, skirting the map with Hammerhead engineer combos and hoping for the best. His final words before this historic face-off, quote, "The community voted me to be on Battlecast Primetime against Commander T simply because of who I am. And who I am is a very bad player. But I'll give you guys a show you won't soon forget. Go for the gold, Tiny Tank. Eye the Tiger."
Terry Commander T. Butcher was born and raised just outside of Canterbury in the UK. Commander T has been with the franchise since Tiberium Dawn in 1995, but he didn't play online until CNC3. His wife, Haley Mrs. CT Sweet Burton, filled us in with these details because she said, "Terry's lazy, LOL." Today, Terry studies psychology at the university. He's interested in how the human mind works, especially how children learn new things. That's Terry's 8-month-old son in his challenge video. Baby Commander D, Daniel to his friends. Way to hook him on CNC young, Terry. Commander T spent most of his childhood, quote, falling out of trees and playing computer games. He also loved building with Lego blocks, citing design as his favorite part of the process. Today, Commander T will be playing as his favorite sub-faction, the Stealthy Marked of Cain. Let's see if he can design a base to outlast APOC's Iron Fist. The players are chomping at the bits, waiting to duel it out. We'll keep the muzzles on for just a little longer to keep Greg and Jason safe while we introduce them. Greg Black, Jason Bender, welcome back to the show, guys. So, you heard about David's dastardly deeds?
You know, we knew something was up when Dave won a game, and I'd expect this kind of thing from Dave, but Jim got roped into this?
Vasella! It's time to scope out the battlefield in Battleground Reconnaissance. Greg, take it away.
Ground Zero is a 2-player garrison-heavy yellow zone map. Players start in opposite corners on a small green field with 3 destructible bridges separating them from the rest of the map. In each corner rest 2 tip spikes and 2 turrets. The center of the map is a large impact crater filled with green Tiberians. Both players are equal distance from the sole expansion field and all 4 spikes, so controlling the map early is key to victory. If the bridges go down, you'll need to escort an engineer all the way across the map or simply assault the enemy with air forces.
Greg, Jason, let's hear your pick of the match.
Well, Commander T has over 13,000 forum posts. That's almost 10 times as many as Aaron has, and Aaron gets paid by the post, so I gotta go with T.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Aaron because that man has the highest hair height to body height ratio of anyone I've ever met, and that's gotta count for something. Aaron, all the way.
Excellent choices, gentlemen. Well, since David isn't here, I guess he's gonna vote for me. Oh, but David, I'm not even playing in the match tonight. I see. You think I'll beat you on Thursday. Well, thank you. You know, for that same reason, I'm gonna have to pick Raj Joshi as well. Anyway, the time has come for me to do the clapping. Let the games begin.
And here we have Commander T, Forum Giant, facing off against Aaron, APOC Kaufman, Community Manager Extraordinaire on Ground Zero. Jason, let's take a look at their build orders.
In the upper left, we have Commander T playing as Marked of Cain. He's going to go with an early Shadow Rush, and they're going to go straight for the Tiberium spikes in the bottom left.
And it looks like Aaron popping up that airfield, going for an Orca Rush. Interesting.
While that Orca flies across the map, let's take a look at the first match of this 3-match series.
Here we have match 1, Commander T playing as Traveler 59, using those wormholes to send those cultists over into Aaron's tip fields.
Well, I guess they're going to go for the Harvesters and bring them right on home.
Oh man, that is embarrassing, losing those Harvesters to mind control right off the bat. And here we go, a Mothership taking its sweet time making its way across the map.
Well, there are a lot of epic units on the map that are moving slow. They're big heavy hitters like the Marv and the Eradicator on the map.
What's going on with this Marv? It looks like it just got hit with the temporal wormhole.
Well, he's trying to slow down that Marv so that the Mothership can get there, but he's not quite gonna make it.
Commander T not too happy about it, drops Overlord's Wrath on Marv. Marv, he doesn't really care.
But he's gonna care about this because the Eradicator just got teleported in right behind him, and he's got a big battle going on there, followed by a couple of carriers.
Yeah, speaking of eradication, here's APOC's base just getting murdered by those packs and those epic units and just everything else under the sun. Good game for Commander T.
Let's move on to match 2 and see what happens there.
Oompa loompa dippity doo. Aaron is rushing with infantry, and so should you.
More so with the Shrine. He's got the flamethrowers in there by way of the Disciples. He's rushing with a lot of infantry, so many, in fact, that the Wolverines are running away.
That's bad news. And look at this. Commander T's power goes down, giving APOC the opportunity to send that infantry rush in there and do some damage.
And while they're doing some damage, it looks like T doesn't have much to defend himself with. He only has 1 refinery left.
And those Disciple upgrades paying off as that MCV just gets flamethrowered.
Aaron's not letting up. He's sending an avatar to the north, but it's mostly just a distraction. He's sending a redeemer from the south.
And look at this, the classic pincer move with those big mechs, and they just take out Commander T's base, no problem. Aaron Kaufman won.
Did we just see that APOC won?
A developer beat a community member. Unbelievable.
So it's 1-1 now. Let's take it to the third match where Commander T has a Raider buggy in APOC's base. Now he sees those orcas coming, and what's he going to do to defend himself?
It's like he's going to build some attack bikes, and they're just popping those orcas, no problem. That's going to hurt Aaron a lot.
Yeah, so much for your orca rush. Not only that, but the magnetic mines are dropped right in the tip field where Aaron's going to need to go for more Tiberium.
Yeah, that's going to hurt him a lot later, I think. And look at this, Aaron sending in some engineers on those hammerheads looking for that Conyard, but it's nowhere to be found.
Oh my, how embarrassing. And on top of that, the Venoms just come in and wipe out the transports.
That's an expensive loss there for no gain. And here we go, some shadow teams heading out there to drop a beacon in Aaron's base, which is going to allow Commander T's Spectres to fire all the way across that map.
And those Spectres are going to wipe out Aaron's airfield. That means APOC has no orcas anymore. So much for your orca rush.
Back in that crater, we've got those Awakened using their EMPs against those harvesters. The magnetic mines are hitting them, and the rocket dudes. There's no escape for those harvesters.
Commander T doesn't mind sending all of his infantry right through the Tiberium to take out those harvesters. It's worth it. Plus, he's still got a bunch of mines left. The harvesters didn't even make it to the minefield.
And look at this. Commander T cloaks his beam cannons, but right then, Aaron drops a radar scan, completely neutralizing it. He's going to know those things are coming.
While those things head south, we're going to see Aaron with a second attempt. Engineers being dropped out of hammerheads. This time he does find the Conyard.
Finds it and captures it and sells it. And Commander T cannot be too happy about that, as again the Venoms come in and just destroy those orcas. And look at this, I think Commander T showing his rage as he drops a Tiberium vein hole detonation right there on Aaron's economy. This is bad news.
It's bad news, and on top of that, if Aaron wants more Tiberium, he has to go right into those mines again. But it's not even going to get a chance because those beam cannons are in his base.
Beam cannons doing what they do worse, attacking a main battle tank, and for once Aaron's actually winning the fight.
Fast forwarding to the end here, we're seeing some EMP on the Conyard while the rest of the army just wipes it out.
Yeah, man, I pity the fool that fights against Commander T.
Greg, Jason, who gets our coveted play of the match?
I'm going to have to give the player of the match to Commander T, playing Traveler 59 in the first match for opening up a wormhole and taking 2 harvesters back to his base.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron even tried to send some riflemen out, but they got mind control too. You could say Commander T opened up a can of wormholes. Am I right? Can of wormholes?
Oh, I hear you.
Unfortunately, my time with you has run out. But trust me, it was a pleasure flying solo in this episode. Maybe I should just keep David in the past. Or even better, whoever wins our duel on Thursday gets to read the next show open. That open will be mine. As always, send us your comments and Joshi fan mail to battlecast@ea.com. Don't forget to Battlecast your match for a shot to be featured here on Battlecast Primetime. For David Silverman, I'm Raj Joshi, and we'll see you on the battlefield.